Good afternoon. You are in time for the Lunchtime News. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Irene Muchuma. On sign language interpretation, we have Brian Muraru. It is the fourth day in the month of September 2024. We have the latest shaping the health sector, and also in our interactive segment this afternoon, we are putting our focus in the tourism sector. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. For the third time, Lucy Nyokabi Madenge failed to take a plea at Makadara Court, with the magistrate directing the Office of Public Prosecutions to give new directions. Principal Magistrate Mary Njagi gave them up to the 16th of September to respond, failure to which Nyokabi will take a plea. Lucy Nyokabi is facing charges of defrauding John Ngaruya of 640,000 shillings under the guise of selling him land. Her defense team had requested the case be moved from criminal to civil court to allow her to resolve the issue by refunding the defrauded amount. However, the complainant's lawyer opposed this request amid his allegations that the case is being dragged to evade justice.
Kuna mama wengi wagonjwa na wazee bado wako rumande. Huyu hapelekwi anywhere. Hata ni bahati amekuja hapa kotini. Siku ile tulikuwa hapa 16th. Si alikuwa pale kwa gari. Na hapa kukawa anasemekana hayuko, iko mgonjwa, na karatasi ile ilikuwa on 15th. Na wakati koti iliambiwa yeye iko hapa nje na wakili. Mtu mmoja mimi namuona hata saa hii aliamka akaenda kumwambia jifiche.
I think it is okay that we come back the next mention, so that the ODPP can look at the affidavit that we filed 1 week ago, because it was in contention to the application they made earlier that they wanted the matter not to proceed but to be dismissed. So the court has given them time to go and look at the application again, so that they come and tell court whether plea will be read or not. But then the court has said that if they shall not have decided by that time, then plea will be read.
From the corridors of justice to insecurity concerns, bodaboda operators in Igembe Central, Meru County held protest over escalating insecurity in the region following the tragic death of one of their own. During the burial ceremony of the 21-year-old Collins Munene, who was allegedly shot by armed robbers, the operators said the rising wave of crime in the region has threatened their livelihoods. They have appealed to the authorities to take immediate action to curb the menace.
Tushikane mikono, hasa wale viongozi tuko nao hapa. Naomba tushikane mikono tuweze kupigana hili janga, ili at least watoto wetu wakuwe sawa sawa. Sasa hivi hakuna kazi. Vijana ambao wanang'ang'ana kwa sababu ya kuweza kutumia hii kazi ya kufanya bonda bonda, ni at least mtu aweze kupata riziki ya siku. Tuweze kushirikiana katika stage zetu zote. Kuna watu ambao wanakuja hapa hivi ambao hatuwajui. Make sure kwamba mtu ambaye mnafanya naye kazi unamjua, mnafanya naye kazi ambaye unajua mahali anaishi, ili tuanzie security starts with yourself.
The Kenya Red Cross Society has signed a memorandum of understanding with the county government of Busia, seeking to enhance disaster preparedness and response initiatives. Under the memorandum of understanding, the county officials and staff will receive training programs facilitated by the Red Cross Society to streamline coordination during emergencies for swift and effective response. The MOU is further expected to enhance the country's capacity to manage disasters and safeguard the lives and livelihoods of its residents.
It is a partnership that continues to grow. Any areas of opportunities for collaboration will be taken up. There will be very close collaboration between the Busia Red Cross Office desk here and the county government, but most importantly, at the level of the head office under my leadership.
Document defines the areas of interaction, cooperation between ourselves and the Kenya Red Cross in very many areas of health, disaster risk management and mitigation and preparedness.
At least 90 youth from different wards in Makueni County have received various equipment as part of the county's effort to boost self-employment. The equipment includes saloon equipment, car wash machines, and water tanks. The youth have been receiving training and funding every year under the program dubbed Ujuzi Teketeke, which aims to increase job opportunities for the youth. The Makueni County Chief Executive Member in charge of trade, Peter Mumo, has urged the youth not to sell the equipment but instead use them appropriately to improve their livelihood.
When you get these items, you are signing to the process of ensuring that you use this item to grow your business. And if you are not willing to grow that business, or once we notice that you are not using it or you have sold it, we will initiate a recovery plan, because our idea is to ensure that anyone who has been equipped grows and creates opportunities to others.
Health workers in KBC County have threatened to down their tools over what they term as a failure by the county government to implement their collective bargaining agreement. The health workers, led by the Secretary General of the Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Union, KMPDU, Nyanza Branch, Dr. Agri Orwenyo, say the memorandum of understanding signed with the employer on the return to work formula, which was to be effected by 1st September 2024, must be honored. Among the issues they want addressed are promotion, employment of additional health workers, and medics' health covers.
We are giving actually the county government of KBC a notice of 14 days. Kindly honor the memorandum of understanding signed with the nurses, honor the return to work formulas of the doctors and clinic officers. As much as time has lapsed, most of the agreements agreed upon was supposed to lapse by 1st September. But with KBC County, nothing tangible has happened. So kindly, for the next 14 days, do that.
A family in Elbisel town in Kajiado Central, Kajiado County, is in distress following the mysterious disappearance of their 16-year-old daughter. The teenager Muipen Ali, a Form 3 student, went missing on Sunday, 25th last month from Utawala Estate in Nairobi. According to the family, the girl was staying with her uncle by the time she disappeared. The family says their frantic efforts to search for her have yielded no fruits. They are now appealing to anyone with information about her whereabouts to report to the nearest police station.
Tuambie, na kama dadangu last born wetu Nunu, hivyo ndo tunamuitaga, unatuona kwa TV, tafadhali ujue tunakupenda, urudi nyumbani.
Tunaogopa sana kwa sababu ni mtoto wa msichana na ni mtoto mdogo wa shule, na siku hizi maisha inakuwa mnastukia mtu amepotea, mnastukia kesho mnaambiwa ameuawa ama ameenda, hatujui mahali yuko. Sasa tunaomba tu mahali yako, kama atatuona ama atatusikia, yeye mwenyewe arudi nyumbani, hatuna shida na yeye.
Immediate former Cabinet Secretary for East African Community, Assaults and Regional Development, Penina Malonza, has defended her track record, saying her tenure as a CS, although short-lived at 2 different dockets, was not tainted with corruption cases. Speaking during a luncheon at her home in Mudha, Kitui County, Malonza, who spoke for the first time since the cabinet reshuffle, dwelt on politics, saying she will ensure the Ukambani region fully supports President William Ruto's administration. Locals also rooted for her return into government.
have God who lives.
As a party, tukipoteza huyu, sisi tumepoteza hata kura za rais za 2027.
Hakuna mtu mwingine tunajua ambaye tunaweza kumfuata ndani ya chama ya UDA apart from Penina Malonza.
Well, on to our weekly segment, the Military Tales, and today we are featuring Patrick Njagi. Take a look.
On this episode of Military Tales, we travel to the border of Laikipia and Meru counties for a sit-down with an army veteran who served for 33 years.
Hi, how are you, sir? Yes. Oh, karibu sana. Karibuni sana. Hii area inaitwa Moroga. Yeah, it's a village within Muchuma, Laikipia East. Yes, that is where we are. I'm Jagi Patrick. Jagi Patrick was born in a village back in Tharakanithi. Back in 1956, 27th February, it was quite a big family of 11. 1963, that is when I started class 1. That time, we didn't have nursery schools. And I remember in standard 1, it's when we got independence. We were given flags to wave and a badge of independence. I remember. I went to Nyeri Secondary School where I did my Form 4, 1975.
For the love of the military, Njagi tried out his luck immediately after high school.
I tried my feet in the Air Force, but I did not make it.
You were so eager to join.
I was so eager to join that uniform. I really liked it.
After this initial disappointment, he decided to train as a teacher, though this was not his real passion.
1977, I went to Teachers Training College, Igoji. 1979, after completion of my P1 course, I was posted to Kitui. Kitui South, Mutomo. And since there was a lot of challenge, I think I decided to quit.
Teaching, because you did,
teaching.
Your heart was not there.
My heart was not in teaching so well. I could not fathom remaining in that profession. One time, I had decided to quit. I came to Nairobi. Through Nairobi, my brother was there. And this man told me, do you know what? Do you know the army is recruiting teachers? Told me, are you ready? I take you there. So he took me to army headquarters. Immediately, we got to the gate. There was a tall officer, as tall as me. Yeah. He said, yes, this is the type of person we wanted. I was enlisted in the army. That was 1981, September 30th.
This opening would mark the first start to his long and distinguished military career.
We went for training. We went to, it was a big group of education instructors, 5K Gilgil. That is where we trained. And then after training, I was posted to Nanyuki, 1K, 1981. When you have a P1 certificate, you'd come out as a corporal. After 6 months, you'll be promoted to the next rank, which is a sergeant. After some other 1 or 2 years, you'll be promoted like that. May 15, 1991, I was promoted to warrant officer class 1. After 21 years, 2000, I was posted at the brigade headquarters, which is just next year, adjacent to the unit, the brigade headquarters. I stayed in brigade headquarters for about 5 years. I was posted to 15 KR, which is in Mombasa. 15 KR, I remained there for about 2 years, up to 2009, 2007 to 2009. 2010, I was posted to Isiolo, 78 Tank Battalion. And that is the place I spent my last years in the forces. In 2014, I exited from the military.
The veteran enumerates some of the duties he had as an education instructor.
The entry point was an education instructor. Yes, my core job was to educate the soldier. Not only on navigation, not only on map reading, even on methods of instructions, even on pillars of training, even on current affairs, and so many other things. A warrant officer, even to the eyes of the commanders, any warrant officer is an administrator. One discipline of the soldiers, all of them, it doesn't matter who and who, because you have to be a model of very good discipline. So when you see soldiers messing up, it is your duty to correct that.
He was among soldiers on a United Nations mission to secure peace in Sierra Leone during their civil war under the command of former Lieutenant General Daniel Opande.
I got a chance to serve in the United Nations peacekeeping, Kenbat 8 in Sierra Leone. We did quite a commendable job when we were there. Hali ilikuwa inaitwa Magibotonzo. It was a notorious area of those, the Western boys. They were called the Western boys. They were under their commander who was CC. He was called CC. One thing I liked is that time General Opande was the force commander. And that general is both courageous and very intelligent, because he cornered them in a way until they accepted to come and sit down and talk. We were also involved in the coordination of even the NGOs who wanted to come and give assistance.
Njagi credits the forces for the many skills he gained, which has made him an astute person, especially on mediation.
What I had learned in the military, it really assisted me. Kwanza ufumilivu. To add to all this, I am also a counselor. Okay? So when you combine what you learned in the military and what you are doing and the people, the type of people you're handling, you love it. The parish minister stood and said, Elder Jagi, from today, you are the chairman in that congregation. And I want it to be streamlined. If I didn't have skills of handling
and leadership as well.
and leadership, I would not have done anything. The time I went there, wengine wakaanza kusema sasa tumeletewa muskari hapa tutakuwa commanded na kadhalika. But because you understand all that, with humility and love, you show them the right way, and you become an example. If there was a misquandering of finances, you don't partake to such. You show it right way, the rightfulness.
As an educationist, he highly values education. He is still a student and a counselor.
Yeah, and I'm quite encouraged by the fact that even in retirement, you're still continuing with education.
I attained my diploma in guidance as counseling, which is academic. I went further and enrolled for a degree course in Christian counseling. And right now, I am pursuing my master's.
Njagi reminds soldiers to take advantage of the many opportunities provided by the forces to improve themselves and their careers.
Let them take up the chance and start organizing themselves. Retirement, you start retiring immediately you are employed. You have to plan yourself, otherwise utapulaniwa. You choose to kujinyima, enjoy the benefits.
Many soldiers are forced by the nature of their work to be away from their families for long durations. Officer Njagi acknowledges the instrumental role his family and especially his wife played over the years.
1982, that is the time we started living together with my wife, our first daughter, who is working now in the bank. The second one is also a daughter. She is in Air Emirates. The third one, he is working as a dental surgeon in Nairobi. If it were not for the mother of those children, we would not be where we are. Yeah, she has been a teacher. She has been actually a pillar to support us where we are, even the children.
Njagi is still very active in various engagements to keep himself busy. Having served in a peace mission, he gives a word of advice to Kenyans on peace and prosperity.
The refugees we have had here in Kenya from those surrounding countries, let us work for peace. When we play politics, let us not play politics of hate. Let us not bring hatred amongst the societies. And whatever we do, let us be considerate to one another as Kenyans. Let us love one another. Let us shun tribalism. Let's look at Kenyans as Kenyans. And we shall have a good country. And this will make Kenya be great.
Thank you so much for your story. Thank you.
As an active farmer, Njagi takes me through one of his farms close to his home, which he actively tends to. And as we wrap up the visit, without doubt, this veteran stands tall to his principles and values, all thanks to the military. For Military Tales, I'm Ben Troy Njue.
Catch up with Troy Njue every week for the untold military tales. To the county of Kiambu, residents of the area can now breathe a sigh of relief after the county's assembly amended the controversial and punitive Land Rate Act that was passed into law during former Governor William Kabogo's tenure. The public had petitioned the assembly to repeal the bill, claiming it was punitive and meant to burden them by taxing freehold land. Ward's representatives, led by the leader of Majority Godfrey Musheke, urged the National Assembly to also do their due diligence and repeal the act and review the laws that they passed in a bid to give Kenyans an environment they can enjoy.
Clause 2 talks about the rateable properties. We have exempted the freehold land, except the land that has changed use to commercial. We have amended section 45, which had talked of saying if the plot owner fails to pay the county government tax, it can sell the plot and recover its money.
They should also relook at that law which they passed, and they have done an amendment, but they have not actually looked at the issue of freeing the freehold land. So I want to celebrate my colleagues and this House for the task that they have just performed this afternoon of actually repealing several sections of that law.
Migori County government has opened 18 medical facilities that had stalled for over a decade to improve healthcare services in remote areas of the county. Speaking at the official launch, Migori County Governor Ochilo Ayako noted that the initiative is in line with the county's commitment to achieving affordable universal health coverage. Governor Ayako further noted that the launched health facilities intend to reduce the distance patients, especially women and children, had to travel to access a healthcare service. On her part, Migori Chief Officer in charge of Public Health Services, Mabel Chanzu, noted the new facilities will significantly increase the number of immunization centers in the county.
Wewe utashtukia tu DJ amefika hapa, utashtukia tu Waziri Dr. Samburu amepitia hapa, yeye ni wa hapa pia, na utashtukia tu Mheshimiwa MCA kutoka sehemu fulani amepitia hapa, alafu tuone vile wananchi wetu wanahudumiwa wakifika hapa.
You know, we've been having outreaches in these areas that are far to reach. So right now, we've made them to work on a daily basis.
Watoto wetu wadogo wengine walikuwa hawamalizi chanjo kwa sababu ya umbali, sababu watu wetu ukweli wakati mwingine huanga hakuna transport ya kukalia pikipiki. Ulikuwa tunaendea madawa ama chanjo huko Tarege, na kutoka Wangira hadi Tarege ni shilingi 100.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. We are taking our first commercial break. When we return, we'll be bringing you the latest in the world of business and sports, and also in our interactive segment this afternoon, we'll be exploring tourism, culture and conservation. On set with us will be the CEC Tourism in the county of Samburu. Stay with us.
Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest, each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Ever crazy. Undoubtedly entertaining. And mind-boggling. The savage netizens capturing that unique moment. On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who's the man in this one?
Where?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani.
Sile wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tukapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Now, in the world of business, Kenya is likely to increase exports of avocados, tea, coffee to China, as well as net more Chinese tourists as part of private sector investment strategy. Kenya is pushing at the ongoing 2024 Summit of Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Here now is Regina Manyara with the details.
Kenya is China's largest trading partner in East Africa, with value of trade hitting 1 trillion shillings last year. Maximizing economic cooperation with China is priority for the Kenyan delegation at the 2024 Summit Forum on China-Africa Cooperation that is led by President William Ruto.
This is all in the context of the people-to-people relationship. And you have brought a very important subject of Chinese tourists who come to Kenya. It helps consolidate the place of relationship between people and learning cultures and experiencing different civilization.
Other than increasing tea and coffee exports to China, Kenya is marketing the country's magical sites to boost Chinese tourist arrivals. In an interview with the China Media Group, President Ruto said Kenya, as a regional tech hub, is keen on tapping into China's skill set and tech to build capacity in areas such as renewable energy.
And renewable energy technology that is in China will be a win-win outcome. And we're looking at how our own private sector can learn and work with the expertise and the knowledge and transfer that knowledge to our own private sector in terms of how they do things better and how we can combine our own experiences with Chinese experiences so that we can build a model that works for Kenya.
President Ruto further highlighted development potential, which could be unlocked if the considerable talent pool and resources of the African continent could be combined with China's technological experience. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Kenyan businesses experienced a mild recovery in August as the impact of earlier protests began to subside, according to the latest Stanbic Bank Purchase Managers Index. The survey shows that business activities improved marginally, with new orders gradually increasing as firms largely resumed normal operations. While input purchases also increased, employment levels fell for the first time this year.
Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchase Managers Index bounced back from a reading of 43.1 to 50.6 in August, signaling a renewed but modest improvement in private sector business conditions. The pace of expansion in August 2024 remained marginal. Readings above 50 signal an improvement in business conditions on the previous month, while readings below 50 show a deterioration. Business activity and output levels rose for the first time in 3 months, largely due to the waning of political demonstrations, allowing businesses to resume trading and complete pending orders. Output increased across 3 to 5 broad sectors, with services, wholesale and retail, and construction showing renewed growth. However, activity declined in the manufacturing and agriculture sectors. New orders also picked up in August, though the increase was slight as some farms continue to report weak customer spending. Despite these gains, farms reduced their staff numbers, marking the first employment decline in 2024. Standard Bank economist Christopher Legilisho says private sector is recovering only marginally. Output and new orders improved after a slump in the preceding months as anti-tax protests have been fizzling out. However, concerns about consumer spending remain, with many firms noting weak overall demand in tougher economic and business environments. As a result, firms cut employment after 7 months of robust hiring, leading to an increase in work backlogs. Wairi Mujenga for Lunchtime News.
Kenyan small businesses are among those set to benefit from a 5-year support program to improve their operations and power their growth. The fund from venture capitalists, 54 collective targets tech-enabled businesses such as fintech, health tech, agri-tech, logistics, and e-commerce.
The National Bureau of Statistics indicates that there are over 7.4 million MSMEs in the country, which employ about 14.9 million Kenyans in various sectors and contribute 40% of the GDP. However, access to funding remains the biggest headache for most SMEs.
Capital is actually designed to help entrepreneurs build and de-risk their businesses so that they don't lose their equity in their business, or ownership, if I may. So that is actually quite important.
The investment will provide SMEs with up to 32.2 million shillings in equity funding, along with low-interest loans of up to 19.3 million shillings. 54 Collective is also prioritizing partnerships with African-based investors to ensure sustainable growth and local impact.
And so we'll look at different things. We'll look at, is this a team that has built a company before? If not, do they have a strong connection to the problem that they're looking to solve? Because when you really understand the problem, then you're able to be very innovative about how you actually build a solution.
54 Collective aims to fund at least 50% of women-led ventures across Africa, offering them lower interest rates on loans and additional support. Kenyan entrepreneurs have already been significant beneficiaries of 54 Collective support, receiving approximately 772.5 million shillings in funding since 2023. Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
All right, the second edition of the Ma Cultural Week is set for Samburu County. On set with us to discuss matters tourism beyond the cultural aspect is the CEC Tourism in the County of Samburu, Raphael Siambu Lena Yara. Welcome on set.
Thank you.
Now, to kick us off, Waziri, elaborate for us the Cultural Week, the one for Ma. What impact is it going to have in the County of Samburu, considering it's the second edition?
Very good. Thank you, Irene, for hosting me here. We are going to have the Ma Cultural Week, and we are calling it Ma Cultural Week, the second edition. As you are aware that the first edition happened in Narok County, and the first edition basically brought together all the Ma-speaking people in this county, and so it was it brought together all the Ma counties. You know, now we have Samburu, that is Kajiado, Narok, of course the people who live in Baringo, Laikipia, Marsabit, Isiolo, and basically all the other counties that host the Ma speaking, the Ma speakers. And so this time round we have the second edition, and as you are aware, during the first Ma edition, the Ma Cultural Edition, the President pronounced that the Ma Cultural Week is going to be a national event. And so we are glad that we are hosting the second edition in Samburu County. And this time round, apart from just us as Ma coming together, we have gone now out of our boundaries, and we are inviting far and wide. You know, apart from just the Kenyan people, we are now also targeting the international visitors. We are actually combining the cultural, the culture itself and tourism. And so it's going to have more ripple effects for the Samburu County, and we are looking at it from the economic lens. So yes, that is where we stand.
Now that you've just mentioned that we have gone beyond the Ma communities, where would you place cultural tourism in Kenya, not only in Samburu? the whole country?
Yeah. I think our culture as a nation, I'm sure you're aware that our constitution, Article 11, recognizes the culture as the foundation of the nation. And our culture, not just our culture as mass speakers, but our culture as Kenyans is one of the key attractions that makes the tourists far and wide, you know, from all over the world, you know, US, the European countries, China, to visit this country, to come and experience the different cultural experiences that we have as a country. And so that is one key area that we have seen. It has a huge potential to attract the international visitors into this country.
Generally, we have seen a lot of changes in the tourism sector, the recovery from the pandemic, the challenges that we're facing when it comes to wildlife, its conservation, the access to parks. Where would you place tourism today?
Yeah, you're right. This is one sector that is really very fragile. Something small can trigger drops in numbers. But that said, this is a very beautiful country. We have a lot of potential in terms of tourism as a country. We really suffered, or let me say, the players in that sector during the COVID, for example, really suffered losses because we saw reduction in numbers. But I thank God, today, if you look at the tourism, the tourist arrivals, the numbers have really gone high. And we are praying that we will go back to where we used to be in early 90s all the way to, you know, early 2000. And from what we have just experienced during the high season, that is June to where we stand today, we have actually seen very positive numbers. The numbers have really increased. And from speaking to the people who are in that space, we have actually realized the numbers can only be better. So if you look at now and going forward, the numbers are increasing. So we hope, as I said, the industry is very fragile. When you see these mandamanos around in town, it scares away the tourists. So we really hope that we are going to behave as Kenyans so that we can give that opportunity, you know, the international visitors to come and see what we have as a country.
Back to Samburu County, we have the Special 5 of Samburu. There's a heritage that many of the people have interacted with in the county of Samburu, pride in. What are initiatives that the county government is putting in place to promote tourism in line with wildlife?
Thank you, Irene. You know, Samburu County and say the northern part of this country is just unique in its own way. We have wildlife species that are only, and I know even when Kenyans don't know, I am sure even you, Irene, you just got to know this the other day when you visited Samburu, but I can tell you many Kenyans do not know the special 5s that we have in the northern part of this country. In Samburu National Reserve, and says in the northern part of this country in general, we have 5 very unique species that you can only get to see when you visit this country. We have the reticulated giraffe that is only found in the northern part of the equator. We have the gerenuk, sometimes they call it a long-necked giraffe. We have the gravy zebra, which is also a very unique species of the zebra. It's bigger than the normal common zebra. We have the Somali ostrich. And the difference between the Somali ostrich and the Maasai ostrich is the color. If you look at the, what we have, which is the Somali ostrich, it is more of bluish legs and neck as opposed to pinkish. So it's also a very unique kind of ostrich. And what else have I left out? And what we call the Besa oryx. So those 5 species make it very special for you to really have to visit to the northern part of this country so that you can be able to experience those 5 special species.
Any initiatives in line?
Yeah, as a county government of Samburu, we are really trying to market this not just to the people within our borders, that is Kenya, but we're also trying to reach far and wide. When we go out for this international, you know, when you go to the international trade fairs, we really try and push out that we have these 5 special unique species. As a country also, we work very closely with KWS to try and protect, because if you look at them, many of them are also endangered species. So we work very closely with other partners to ensure that we have really protected, we have secured those areas where they live, we have also taken care of their corridors, so that at least we, and by so doing, we have actually seen the increase in numbers. So yeah, as a county, we are trying to reach out to the partners to ensure that we are protected those species.
I know beyond that, we also have the Retete Elephant Sanctuary.
Correct.
But before we delve into that, time is not on our side. As we come to the close, I want to get back to the Cultural Week.
Correct.
What should be our expectations?
Very good. This time around, first of all, let me tell you, it's going to happen between 6th of November to 10th. It's going to be different. I know when you do things first time, you are bound to make mistakes here and there. And this time around, we really want to perfect. The mistakes that we made in our first edition, we are going to correct them this time around. And so it's going to be big and better. It's going to happen exactly at the entrance of Samburu National Preserve. And we really want to encourage all to, not just for the cultural event, please, we want to encourage all Kenyans and other visitors. You know, Samburu is very unique. So you can make time, you can come maybe a week or some days before the event so that you can also get to tour the surrounding of Samburu, because Samburu on its own, even without the wildlife, is just unique and very beautiful.
Looking forward to work with you, Waziri, ahead of that event. The event will take place in November in the county of Samburu. On set with us has been Raphael Siambu Leneyara, the CEC Tourism in the county of Samburu. This as we explore tourism, culture and conservation. And key note, here is the Ma Cultural Week, the second edition, one that is bringing the Ma community together. And this time round, Waziri says, it will be beyond the Ma communities. In other news this afternoon, macadamia farmers in Embu County have protested the push by some processors for reintroduction of a ban on export of raw and unprocessed macadamia. The farmers termed the push by processors as selfish. This comes after the processors, during a meeting in Nairobi on Monday, called on the government to reintroduce a ban on export of unprocessed macadamia to protect their business. Led by National Vice Chair, National Nuts Traders Association of Kenya, Njeru Kathangu, the farmers claim the move will give unfair advantage to the processors who collude to buy nuts from farmers at mega prices and then make a kill after processing.
Ikiwa hii sheria itakuwa inaondolewa, tutafurahi. Na isipoondolewa, ili mkulima hawe na haki, sisi tutafanya maandamano kama wakulima wa makandamia Kenya yote. Mchina wakati ameanza kununua makandamia kwa mashamba yetu, kwa wakati huu tunapata shilingi 120, na wao jana wanasema Mchina ananunua makandamia kwa shilingi 30. Huo ni uongo mtupu.
Ni kama wale watu ambao walichaguliwa Embu County hawashughulikii mkulima wa makandamia. Kwa hiyo sasa imefika mpaka mahali sisi kama wakulima ndio tunajitetea. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wale watu ambao wamechaguliwa Embu County pia wao washikane na sisi kama wakulima wa makadamia, ndio kilio chetu kisikike.
Ni vema kama mtu anaweza nunua makandamia kwa bei nzuri, mkulima vaindike, hiyo ndio tungetaka. Wasifukuze mwenye anatunua mzuri, wakunje alafu wachukue na bei yenye anataka, wavinyilie mkulima.
Kirinyaga County government has launched animal diseases sensitization campaign targeting livestock farmers following reported cases of foot and mouth and lumpy skin diseases in the area. County Executive Committee member for Agriculture, Livestock, Veterinary and Fisheries, Dr. John Gashara, termed the county as a transit point for livestock coming from eastern and northern eastern part of the country, hence the risk of livestock acquiring the disease. The county has more than 90,000 dairy cattle and over 30,000 dairy goats, which are the main targets in the campaign.
Within the county, and these are our main targets in this exercise. In addition to this one, we are giving the farmers a hotline, which is a free call, which we will be able, you can see it on screen. That is a number we are asking our farmers to call in case they detect anything.
Across the borders, Hong Kong's flagship airline, Cathay Pacific, has cancelled dozens of flights after a plane heading from the city to Zurich was forced to turn around due to an engine component failure. The company says it has now inspected all 48 of its Airbus A350s and found 15 aircrafts with faulty parts that needed to be replaced. Details of this and other stories in news from around the globe.
The Airbus A350's Trent XWB-97 engines were made by British engineering giant Rolls-Royce. Since Monday, Cathay Pacific has cancelled almost 70 flights, including routes linking Hong Kong to Sydney, Singapore, Bangkok, Tokyo, Seoul, and Taipei. Cathay Pacific said the disruptions will continue until at least Saturday. While apologizing for the inconvenience caused by the disruption, the airline said that safety of its customers and people guides every decision made. Meanwhile, UK shares dropped on Wednesday morning following falls in Asian and US markets as concerns grow about the world's largest economy. Data showed US manufacturing activity remains subdued, with investors now focused on US jobs figures due on Friday. The UK shares drop hit American chip giant Nvidia particularly hard, slumping by almost 10% as optimism about the boom in artificial intelligence dampened. Despite the sharp fall, Nvidia's shares are still worth double their value a year ago. The FTSE 100 index, which comprises the largest companies on the London Stock Exchange, dropped 0.76% in early trading, with major European indexes also down. Finally, China has announced a probe of Canadian canola imports, escalating a trade fight between the two countries. The move, which could lead to tariffs on a key Canadian export, came a week after Canada said it would impose new border taxes on Chinese-made electric vehicles, steel and aluminium. Beijing also said it would file a complaint with the World Trade Organization over the EV tariffs, which it criticized as discriminatory and unilateral. Canada's Minister of Agriculture said plans for the canola investigation were deeply concerning, and the government was closely monitoring the situation. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
All right, back to the local scene. Kenyans have been urged to show love and support to the elderly in society, as isolation and loneliness can lead to very serious health conditions. Speaking during one of their visits in Mtongwe and Burumba area in Busia town, the Union of Women from Islamic Religion in Busia County, under the umbrella of Jamasta, said the elderly need love not only from their relatives but the society at large.
Kuna wamama ambayo wako kule mashinani, kuna wazee wako kule mashinani. Labda unapata mama kama huyu alishaachwa kitambo na mume wake, watoto wake, wajukuu amezika, amebaki peke yake, hana yule mtu ambaye anaweza kumwangalia. Kwa hiyo tukaamua tunatembea mashinani kona zote ya Busia County ili tukamfikie ajihisi kuwa bado ana watu.
Kiangalia hali aliyoko nayo huyo nyanya yetu, wengi katika jamii wanapitia katika hali kama hii, na ni muhimu sisi ambao kidogo Mwenyezi Mungu amekupa shilingi 20 au 30 uweze kupunguza chochote katika kile ulichopewa na Mwenyezi Mungu, ili na wewe uweze kuangalia wale ambao wako pambizoni mwako.
Mimi nifurahi sana. Kwa hivyo mimi nashukuru kwa upande mwingine, mnaniletea chakula, mnanijali, mnanizidishia upendo sana. Upendo ni mingi.
Right, sir. In sports, powerhouse Brazil defeated France 3-0 in the ongoing FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia. Meanwhile, Mexico beat Australia 2-0. Japan humbled New Zealand 7-0, while Colombia beat Cameroon 1-0.
Diva across and off the bar and in, and Mexico lead. 7 minutes for Mexico to see out, or maybe wrap it up. All over now, surely. Lomeli is there. Before we hit the hour mark. Oh, that's another cracker. Hayama has been high towards the far post. And there is 7. Sassari.
Samson Opio bagged Kenya's first medal at the 2024 Paralympic Games in Paris after he won a silver in the long jump T37 class in an African record-breaking feat. Opio's fourth jump of 6.20 meters at the Stade de France was not only a personal best but an African record which erased the old mark of 6.05 meters set by South African Andrea Dale Ave in 2015. The Law University student at the Kenyatta University finished second behind Brian Lionel of Argentina and Brazil's Cardoso Martins, who settled for bronze. This was Kenya's first field event medal since the 2008 Beijing Paralympics, when Mary Nakhumicha clinched silver in the 557 javelin throw. The 28-year-old Opio started competing in para-athletics in 2017 and won a silver medal in the T37 200 meters and a bronze medal in the T37 100 meters race at the 2019 International Athletics meeting in Marrakesh, Morocco. He has also participated in 3 para-athletics championships with no return before his debut in the Paralympics. Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins have withdrawn from the England squad ahead of their upcoming Nations League matches. Manchester City forward Foden, who was recently named PFA Player of the Year, was called up by interim England boss Lee Castley, but did not link up with the squad because of his illness. England Football Association says Chelsea forward Palmer and Aston Villa striker Watkins both reported for duty at the St. George's Park but have returned to their respective clubs to continue their rehabilitation after sustaining injuries. England will face the Republic of Ireland in Dublin this Saturday before hosting Finland at Wembley 3 days later. And on that note, we come to the end of Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms. For more details on ad items and many more, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. My name is Irene Muchuma. On sign language interpretation, we have Brian Muraru. On behalf of the entire team behind this production, good afternoon and God bless you.